Welcome, G.I. Joe fans, to this week's G.I. Joe toy review, where today we are looking at the G.I. Joe Navy SEAL Wetsuit. And before we get to Wetsuit, we're going to do our shout-outs of the week, starting at 48 South Loudon Street here in Winchester, Virginia, and also 41 South Loudon Street here in Winchester, because these are the homes of four of Back to the Media. Now, Back to the Media is getting their second home on the Walkie Mall, and so they're expanding. As of this filming, they haven't opened up the second location yet, but they will be as soon as possible, which is actually pretty cool. And the 41 South Loudon Street address is actually the original building they had when I started giving them the shout-outs of the week several years ago. But so they can hook you up with all, and I do mean all, of your video game needs and accessories. So go ahead and check them out. You know, such as the Atari, all the way up to current systems. And you can get games for each console, and so on and so forth and the like. So definitely check them out. And if you need PCs, your PC fixed, your laptop fixed, or your console fixed, or just get other little odds and ends and doodads that you can't find in games that you can't find at Back to the Media, I suggest going to Play It Again Games on Middle Road, right behind the Cecil Valley Avenue. So definitely go ahead and check them out. And if you need toys and collectibles, such as G.I. Joe, or Transformers, and He-Man, and Ninja Turtles, and all that kind of stuff, you could check out Time Traveler Toys and Collectibles at 115 South Loudon Street. I mean, I got Wetsuit in the same place that I got Outback that we did last Wednesday. And in the Assault on Cobra Island 7-pack. You know, which I got off of eBay. And, which is pretty cool. So, definitely give them a shout out there. eBay a shout out there. And, definitely check them out. You know, Time Travelers, because you could get a whole bunch of toys and collectibles from there. And, while you're down there, you can go to, 106 South Loudon Street to get all your toddler, all his or her, puzzle solving skills, as well as barnyard animals, so you can have their own little farm, animal farm, or petting zoo, or whatever you want to have, whatever their creativity allows them to make with it. And after you go there, you can stop at 80 Weems Lane, which is where you can get all, and I do mean all, of your comic book needs here in Winchester, like DC, Marvel, IDW, and so on and the like. Or you can go to Comic Monsters if you're in the Salisbury, North Carolina area. And definitely check them out. But also, the newest addition to the shout-outs of the week is Breaker Brothers on 6 Piccadilly Street, which is right there by the Walking Mall, which is a small little store, but you could get your Pokemon cards, and you could get some sports cards, like baseball and whatnot, from there. But they more specialize in Pokemon. But you also got, they also sell, card cases you can slide your cards in, especially your most expensive cards that'll be worth something in the future. Definitely go ahead and check them out. It's a nice little store. And, being that we're on Piccadilly Street, walk up to the end of that block to 39 Piccadilly Street. You can see Lloyd and his wonderful staff at at tropical islands and get all your Jamaican food stuff, Jamaican food needs met there, and get some great Jamaican food. It's really, really good food there. And after you leave there, you can stop down and get a hold of Mixed Tree Service if you need some have a tree that you need removed or an unsightly tree stump you need removed and all that kind of stuff. So definitely check them out. And after you leave there, you can check out Bank of Clark or United Bank for all your banking needs, and definitely get them seen and get them done. So definitely check them out. After you leave there, you can go to see State Farm or Farmers for all your insurance needs, whether it be homeowners insurance, renters insurance, or anything of the sort. So definitely go ahead and check them out. And go and see them for all your insurance needs. But if you have to get gas, you can stop at Sheetz or Handy Mart here in Virginia, anywhere in Virginia, and Handy Mart, especially here in Winchester, and get all your gas and needs met. And you can also get made to order food, so you can get your belly full as well as your gas tank full. I mean, that's a double awesome in either one of those stores. So definitely check them out. After you leave there, you can go and but it's time for our PSA of mental health awareness, because Cobra Island does support mental health awareness. So you could go to over to check out Four Color Fantasies. I mean, not Four Color Fantasies. You can check out Robert C. Brown at Healing Grace Counseling Services and see what he has to offer. And go ahead and see Robert C. Brown. If Robert C. Brown's not your cup of tea and not what you're looking for, there's other counseling offices in Winchester that you could go to. And you could definitely check any of them out, or you could get a hold of National Counseling Group or any counseling office in your area. There's nothing wrong with seeking help. And if you need psychiatry, you can go to Northwestern Community Services and get all your psychiatry needs, case management, and so forth and the like. And if you go to the Winchester office, they have a in-house pharmacy known as Denoia, which you can pick your prescriptions up there, or you can actually go and they can mail it to you. So either one is just as good. So definitely check out Northwestern, and they also have an office in Front Royal. So definitely check them out. You could also in Winchester go to the Pierce Center on Amherst Street, and go for groups. NAMI is there, and go for groups. Have peers there. You can have a one-on-one session with a peer. I mean, they're all cool places. Everybody that works there is pretty cool. So definitely check them out. After you leave there, you can go over to if you need to text somebody because you can't get an appointment, you can text 741-741. But if you need a human voice, dial 988. And if it's really, really bad and a really serious issue, go to your closest emergency room. And like I said, there's nothing wrong in receiving help. So definitely get the help you need. So let's take a look at our Navy SEAL. So we're going to start with his file card. As you can see, there's a picture of Wetsuit with the G.I. Joe logo. It's codename Wetsuit, Cobra Eel. And the back of it, because all of the Assault for Cobra Island has the black background. And like I said, it's codename Wetsuit, Navy SEAL. File name Forrest Brian C. Primary military specialty is a SEAL, which stands for sea, air, and land. And his secondary military specialty unit is a UDT, Underwater Demolitions. And his birthplace is Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. His grade is the E6. Wetsuit has been called the nastiest combination of shark and eel that you can think of. He was trained as a SEAL, the toughest training in the Navy, and is an expert in marine operations and demolitions. Called in for the most dangerous and dirtiest jobs, he and his team perform their missions with detailed plans that are executed with precision and speed. He is not known for his social graces. You wouldn't catch him chatting with guys in three-piece suits about the latest Broadway play. But when you need someone who could take out a cobra underwater base with just some fishing line and a knife, he's your guy. Quote at the bottom is, "Just give me a target and get me under the waves so I can stop these slimy buckets of fish bait." So that's his file card, which gives a lot of them. But it doesn't mention his little rivalry with the Marine Leatherhead or Leatherneck. But I'll do that more in the when I talk about Wetsuit. But let's take a look at his accessories. And he does have his figure stand, upraised G.I. Joe logo, codename Wetsuit on the front. He comes with a pair of swim fins, which do have the little holes which go onto the foot pegs here on the figure stand, and also got foot pegs you can attach them to his feet. I mean, they're cool little swim fins. And he comes with this little harpoon type gun, which is pretty sweet, pretty sick. He also has a fishing knife, gutting knife. And he also comes with a little laser pistol. And he also comes with this little underwater swimming device that helps him maneuver around underwater a little faster, which is in yellow and with the black handle, which is pretty cool. Nicely designed. And of course, he's got his backpack, which can detach into 4 little pieces because you got the 2 little black hoses and the fish mat and the mask, as well as the underwater pack, which has this wee breather, which is pretty cool. So let's take a look at Wetsuit. And I like this modern version better than the vintage because it's like the basic helmet. You can actually see his face with his blonde eyebrows, which means he's blonde underneath the hood of the yellow hood of the Wetsuit. And his head can rotate the full 360 as you need a man to do that. And then he's got his web gear, which is kind of like a grayish blue with the little black on the shoulders. But he's got the bluish green wetsuit with black highlights and pouches, black gloves, like the bluish gray sheath for the knife and a holster for the little pistol, and his black shoes, which his arm can lift up to about here with the little white stripe on it. It can rotate all the way around. And then he also has this symbol right there underneath the wetsuit. I mean, I can't really get a good look at it, but it does look like some kind of underwater fish insect looking thing. But back to his arm, he can bend at the elbow roughly around 90 degrees. He can rotate all the way around, and he can swivel at the wrist, which is pretty cool. He does have the ab crunch feature that is visible even with the web gear. And he can do this full splits. Because, I mean, you need a Navy SEAL that can do a split. You know. And then he's got a double knee bend at the knee. And his ankle can pivot as well as swivel. You know, full 360. Because, like I say, if you need a Navy SEAL underwater, he's got to do just about everything. So let's go ahead and gear this guy up. You know, Wetsuit was always one of my favorite characters when he was released in '86. You know, and you could put the swim feet right on there. Let's just do that. And the cool thing is, like I said, you got the holes right there on the bottom of the fins that you could just set right here on the foot pegs. And he's wearing his foot pegs on display. And then you got the sleeve right here on this leg, which you put the knife right there. And you got the pistol holder on the other leg that you can slide his gun in. There you got that set up. And then you just put the gun in the harpoon launcher in his arm, or in his one hand. And then you can put the little swimming device right there in his other hand. So he's got that, and just sit in his book bag or his backpack. And then you got Wetsuit all geared up to go underwater to take out that naval base of Cobras that is underwater. And this guy is pretty slick looking, and he is really, really cool of a figure, very cool. And this guy is, like I say, he's one of my favorites, so I will definitely put him in the top tier. And where his code name is the outfit he's wearing, as well as it gives off his Navy SEAL training. And this is a really cool looking figure in my opinion. Out of all the Navy SEALs, which you had Torpedo and Wetsuit, you had Tracker later on. Not Tracker. Was it Tracker? Might have been Tracker, but Tracker had the gym outfit on. But and then you had Shipwreck version 2 that ended up being in Cartoon Network's action force known as Stinky Diver. But he was, those were the main Navy SEALs, but the ones that were in dive suits. Shipwreck version 2, and then you had, from the Vintage line, and you had Torpedo and Wetsuit. Wetsuit, in my opinion, was the coolest. And this was the very first G.I. Joe team member I reviewed on this channel back in 2018. And so he was a very, very cool looking figure. When I had him in the Vintage line, except for the head was different because you couldn't remove the helmet or the swim mask. But they kind of updated it for the 25th anniversary. And so, I mean, this guy is like totally hip, totally cool, and very good figure. I love this figure. And, but like I said, he did have a rivalry in the comic and the cartoon with Leatherneck. It was kind of like a friendly rivalry, but they always had each other's back and helped each other out, even though they pretty much hated each other. But it was still cool. It's still one of my favorite characters. So definitely get him. But the only way you get this version of Wetsuit, if you can't get him loose off of you can't get him loose on eBay or Amazon, you can get him in the Assault on Cobra Island 7-pack. And you'll get guys in that 7-pack, along with Wetsuit, you'll get Zap, you'll get Outback with the brown shirt that I reviewed on the first. And you get Zap, like I said, you get Zap, Outback, Wetsuit, and like 4 other guys. I'm trying to remember who they were off the top of my head. And I mean, it was a really, really good set. The set of 7 was really, really good. I don't remember everybody else off the top of my head. Oh, Chuckles was in that set. And there was quite a few others. So, I mean, it was a good set in my opinion. So definitely check out that set if you can. It's good to have that whole set. Because I've always said the 7-packs are... The 5-packs, the 7-packs are always good starter kits if you're collecting G.I. Joe figures. Getting the 5 and 7, the 3, 5, and 7 are always good starter kits. And for collecting. So definitely get them. But this will do it for Wetsuit. So see you in the next one. And like always, now you know, and knowing is head to battle.